Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Karen Joy F. Adorna. You can call me Ma'am Karen. I'm one of the safety officer here in South Luzon Distribution Center. And our topic for today is we will discuss our 8 hours mandatory training warehouse safety course, module number 3. Basic safety rules and measures. First, our objective, we have 3 objectives. First, participants will be able to express appreciation on OSH or occupational safety and health. And also, by the end of this training, we can recognize the importance of various OSH data and state of legal basis of OSH. Also, participants will be able to understand, learn, and discuss basic concepts of OSH towards effective OSH implementation inside the workplace. Okay, so we have basic safety rules and measures, such as housekeeping and material handling and storage. Of course, as a good warehousing practices, we have a lot of warehousing practices to be followed. Una dyan ay housekeeping. Paano ba natin i-handle yung mga material handling natin? And how we can store or stored properly our products and equipments. Also, machine safety. In this topic, I can share you types, sources, and controls regarding machine safety. Next, we have electrical safety. I will discuss also the types, sources, lotto or lockout, tagout, and controls. And next, we have fire safety. By the end of this training, you can say or you can explain the elements of fire, the prevention, and its controls. Also include chemical safety and workshop and application of learning. Okay, so first, what we need to know or what you need to know. First, we must know the benefits of good housekeeping. Ano-ano nga ba to? Ano-ano nga ba yung mga benepisyo or may tutulong ng good housekeeping sa atin? Next, cost of poor housekeeping. Siyempre, kung may benefits, ano naman yung mga cost or yung mga negative impact ng poor housekeeping? Housekeeping responsibilities. So, hindi lang sa bahay, pati dito, bibigyan tayo ng mga kanya-kanyang rules pagdating sa housekeeping. And good housekeeping habits. So, paano ba natin mamimaintain or mapapanatili yung mga good housekeeping sa loob ng workplace? Of course, we have common housekeeping hazards at ituturo ko yan sa inyo later. Then, how to eliminate housekeeping hazards and prevention of accidents. Siyempre, kung merong mga hazards, of course, ito yung magle-lead sa aksidente. So, ayaw natin na magkakaroon tayo ng aksidente, kaya hazards pa lang, i-eliminate na natin or lalagyan na natin siya ng controls. So, okay, let's discuss further housekeeping and material handling and storage. So, effective housekeeping can help control or eliminate workplace hazards. Housekeeping is not just about cleanliness, it also includes work areas neat and orderly, maintaining halls, floors, free from sleep and trip hazards, and removing the waste materials, such as paper, cardboard, and other fire hazard from the workplace area. So yun nga, sabi ko nga kanina, hindi lang sa bahay tayo matututo, pati na rin dito sa loob ng warehouse. So hindi lang porke may mga tagalinis tayo or may mga utilities tayo, sila na lang yung aasahan natin sa paglilinis. So we need to ensure that unang-una na maintain daw yung mga paglilinis sa mga flooring, sa mga walls. Siyempre, kung may mga leaks, dapat ma-prevent nila para maiwasan yung may mga aksidente, may mga dumadulas. Ayan. At also, kasama na dyan yung pag-maintain ng mga waste or waste materials such as paper, cardboard, and other fire hazards. Next, poor housekeeping can be a cause of incidents such as, una, yung magkaroon ng tripping hazards or tripping over loose objects on floors, stairs, and platforms. Also being hit by falling objects. That's why we need to ensure that meron tayong mga work permit para sa mga gumagawa or mga contractors or kahit anong mga other safety-related na trabaho. Next is sleeping on greasy, wet, or dirty surface. Ayan, kaya nga meron tayong mga utility na tumutulong para ma-ensure na walang mga wet flooring, malinis yung mga areas. Ayan. Also, striking against projecting, poorly stacked items, or misplaced material. So, dito naman papasok yung mga pickers, mga sweepers, or mga nagtatrabaho sa loob like MHE operators. Dapat ini-ensure nila na tama yung kamada ng mga produkto, tama yung pag-store ng mga produkto sa loob ng warehouse. Okay? That can cause struck against. Ayan, para maiwasan nating maaksidente. Next, cutting, puncturing, or tearing the skin of hands or other parts of the body on projecting nails, wire, or steel strapping. Okay, so for us to avoid these hazards, we need as a workplace, for us to avoid this hazard, a workplace must maintain order throughout a workday. Although this effort requires a great deal of management planning, the benefits are many. So yun, we need to consider nga yung good housekeeping para mag-create ito ng safe situation or safe condition para sa lahat ng mga employees natin. Okay? So maaasahan ko ba na maglilinis tayo or mame-maintain natin yung good housekeeping sa loob ng warehouse? Kaya, next, ano-ano ba yung mga benefits ng good housekeeping? So una, na-eliminate daw nito yung mga accident or any fire hazards. Siyempre, kung tama yung mga paglilinis or housekeeping sa loob ng warehouse, may ensure nito walang mga tripping hazards, so walang kahit anong hazards na makikita sa paligid. So once na malinis yung paligid, mai-ensure natin na walang pagmumula ng aksidente. Ano pa? Maintain safe, healthy working conditions. Ayan. So, yun nga, mame-maintain niya yung safe environment, safe conditions, pati na rin yung mga health ng mga tao. Also, saves time, money, material, space, and effort. Siyempre, kung malinis yung paligid or palaging merong housekeeping, pag walang na-aksidente, wala rin tayong cost or wala ring magiging gastos, okay? Next, improve productivity and quality. So, mas mabilis gumalaw, mas mabilis kumilos sa loob ng warehouse, lalo na pag malinis talaga yung area. Next, mabuboost din yung moral natin. Ayan, syempre, ikaw sa sarili mo, ayaw mo na, ay, ang linis-linis, tapos ako lang yung magkakalat dito. So, i-ensure talaga natin na hindi natin iiwan yung area natin ng madumi. May mga tinatawag nga tayong AOR or Area of Responsibility sa loob ng warehouse. And last, reflects a well-run organization. So magre-reflect sa atin once na maganda yung workplace natin, nakita na may good warehousing practices or good housekeeping. So magiging word of mouth yan eh. Masha-share ito sa mga tao na ayos pala to yung organization na to, napakalinis, maayos magpatakbo ng warehouse. So mas lalong marami tayong magiging clients or customer in the future. Okay? Next, cause of poor housekeeping. So we have 6 such as slip, trips, and falls. Ayan, fire. Next, chemical and machine accidents. Next, injuries from electrical problems. Collision, and falling objects, and even health problems. So, ang dami pala, ang daming cause ng poor housekeeping. So, ayaw natin ma-encounter yung mga yan, iba't ibang klaseng pagmula ng aksidente, ayaw nating magkaroon ng mga health problems or kung ano pa. So, kaya dapat, number one, we need to ensure that nafa-follow natin yung good housekeeping or warehousing practices. Ano-ano nga ba yung mga good housekeeping habits? What are those? Okay, meron diyan, make time for housekeeping. Siyempre dapat may schedule. Alam mo na pagpasok mo pa lang ano yung routine, ano yung ilan ba yung mga naka-assign or naka-schedule na mga utility na maglilinis sa per area, ano-ano yung mga area natin or area of responsibilities natin. Next, we need to evaluate your workspace. May sapat ba na space na puwedeng paglinisan? Ayan. Then safe ba dun sa mga working areas? Baka mamaya ang dami namang gumagalaw ng mga MHC diyan. And next, remove hazards before starting the work. So yun, kailangan laging sa toolbox meeting nire-remind natin palagi na ayan, kailangan alam natin ano yung mga hazards sa paligid. Okay? Para matanggal muna natin siya or ma-remove nga natin bago mag-work tayo. Kasi once na hindi natin tinanggal, sabi nga natin nakita na pero hindi pa kinorek. Ayan. So, pwede siya pa yung pagmula ng aksidente natin. Okay? The next, turn equipment off after using it. Siyempre, kung meron tayong ginamit, like yung mga MH natin, MPC or JT long, JT short, we need to ensure na after natin gamitin, patayin natin siya. Okay? Then next, clean up as you go. So, alam niyo ba yung clean go policy or yun, clean as you go policy? So, ganun lang dapat tayo para ma-maintain daw natin yung good housekeeping habits. And last pero very important to, never ignore a safety hazard. So, once may nakita kayong mga safety hazards, dapat i-report agad siya at makorek agad. So, wag natin ipagwalang bahala, ay, bahala na yan, pwede na yan. Sige, makikita rin natin yan. So, sabi, wag daw natin i-ignore. Okay? Because a near miss today may be the accident we will encounter tomorrow. Okay? So, dapat ma-prevent na natin before it's too late. Yan, we need to prevent the accident or the near misses bago pa siya mag-lead sa aksidente. Next, for our daily housekeeping checklist, marami yan. Siyempre, marami kagaya ng checklist sa flooring, sa aisles, workstations, equipment, storage, kahit nga yung mga waste disposal, yung mga patapon na or tinatapon nating mga ano. So, meron pa rin yung checklist. At itong checklist na to, mahalaga ito kasi ito lang yung proof or yung evidence na magsasabi na, "Ay, ginagawa talaga namin yan on a daily basis. Naglilinis talaga kami." Kasi mahalaga 'to kasi tinitingnan 'to during the audit. Next, injuries from slips, trips, and fall. So marami pala, marami tayong klase ng injuries such as strains and sprains. Ito yung mga muscle, ito yung usually makikita natin sa mga legs natin, sa mga muscle natin sumasakit, nagkaka-sprain nga, yun yung tinatawag na ano. So yun. Torn ligaments. Ayan. Broken bones. Back or spine injury sa likod. Ayan, mga spine injury. And even death or fatality. Ayan, yan daw yung pwede nating makuha pag tayo nagkaroon ng slip, nadulas, trips, at nahulog tayo. So, marami pala, no? Ayaw natin simpleng pagkadulas lang is pwede na agad tayong magkaroon ng spine injury or something. So, palagi tayong mag-ingat. Okay? Next, paano ba natin mape-prevent yung slips or yung pagkadulas natin? Una, i-clean daw natin yung mga spills. Ayan, kung may natapon, nakita nyo, i-clean agad natin. Pangalawa, repair natin yung mga leaks. Ayan. Kahit anong leaks, kagaya ng roof leaks. Ayan, i-repair agad natin siya. Pick up objects. So, pag may nakita tayo, like for example, balat ng saging, ayan, so pwede itong makadulas. So yun, pulutin agad natin. Kahit anong bagay na pwedeng maka-aksidente or makadulas sa atin. So, wag na nating hintayin na may madamay pa tayo or may maaksidente pang iba dahil dun sa kapabayaan natin or sa negligence natin. Next, sweep up debris. So, yun nga. Then, wear slip-resistant shoes. So, dapat safe yung mga ginagamit nating mga shoes. Meron yang anti-slip or yun nga, pag nasa loob tayo ng warehouse, di ba, dapat naka-safety shoes tayo. Kung nasa labas naman tayo, usually yung mga utility natin, nagsusuot sila ng mga rubber na matataas. Ayan, panglinis talaga. Boots, rubber boots. Next, prevent trips. So, clean up straps and bands. And put away electrical cords and air hoses. Ayan. Don't stack items in walkway. So, dapat naman talaga wala sa walkway, wala sa pedestrian. Dapat ensure natin na nasa tamang storage yan. Ayan. Keep drawer closed. So, yan. Ensure natin na walang naka-obstruct. Ensure natin na tama yung pagkakasara. Ayan. Para hindi siya magmula ng aksidente. Then, be careful when you carry objects. So, dapat tama or alam natin yung proper lifting. Ayan, proper lifting ng produkto. So, tinuturo naman yan sa atin, lalo na sinishare yan sa atin ni Doc Cha. Ayan, meron tayong proper lifting or proper handling ng mga stocks natin sa loob ng warehouse. Then, lastly, put away tools. Put away tools. Ayan. Okay, then last, we can prevent falls. Be careful on stairs. So, ensure natin na when we are going upstairs, when we are going upstairs, descending or ascending, ensure natin na nakahawak tayo. Always use the handrails. Ayan, kung aakyat or bababa tayo ng mga hagdanan. Kumapit tayo palagi. At kung masyadong mataas, gumamit daw tayo ng ladder. Use ladder safely. Replace fall protection chains or barriers. And use fall arrest equipment when required. Ano ba yung mga fall arrest? Like, safety harness. Ayan. Then, sure natin na may double lock siya. Or nakatulan yard yung hook natin. Next, fire prevention. So, yun nga, meron tayong store, flammable, combustible liquids, and proper containers. So, as you can see in the pictures, ayan, kagaya niya na may nakalagay, flammable liquid. Ayan, may mga signages din siya. Ayan, nasa tamang container nakalagay. Keep reactive chemicals separated. So, dapat nasa tamang lagayan yan. So, hindi siya pwedeng nakahalo dun sa mga ibang chemical, or kung saan-saan nakalagay. So, dapat may proper storage lang po yan. The next, prevent the accumulation of combustibles. So, ensure natin na yung mga combustibles, dapat hindi siya masyadong nai-store sa mga bagay or like battery charging area. Dapat walang mga combustible items or materials na pwedeng pagmula ng mga fire hazards. And lastly, keep combustible away from electrical equipment and hot machinery. Ayan. Next, we have also exits and fire equipment. So, marami tayong mga fire exits sa loob ng warehouse. Ayan, mga emergency exit. Makikita natin yan sa ating evacuational plan. And even pagpasok natin sa loob ng warehouse, ayan, meron tayong keep evacuation routes clear. So, dinidiscuss natin yan during safety orientations. Don't block the emergency exits. Ayan, palagi nating pinapaalala yan sa lahat na avoid blocking ng mga emergency equipment such as fire extinguisher, fire hose, or fire cabinets, fire hose cabinets, ano pa? Mga emergency exits, ayan. At iba-iba pa, like kagaya ng smoke control, ayan, FDAS, at kung ano-ano pang mga emergency equipments. Bakit? Yan lang yung magliligtas sa atin just in case magkaroon ng sunog or ng fire. So, pag naka-block sila, syempre, hindi natin agad makukuha or easily accessible yung mga firefighting equipments. Kaya nga firefighting yan yung magliligtas sa atin or magpa-fight pagdating ng magkaroon ng sunog. Okay? So, ensure natin na hindi sila nabablock, ha? At isa pa, baka nakakalimutan nyo, meron nga palang multa yung pagbablock ng mga firefighting equipment. So, 'pag na-audit tayo ng BFP, meron yang multa na, if I'm not mistaken, around 50,000. So, yun. So, 'wag na nating hintayin na ma-audit tayo, mapagmulta tayo. So, in short, sundin na lang natin or gawin na nating habits, okay? And ensure that electrical panels can be opened. Ayan. Yung mga electrical panels daw natin, so yan, dapat ensure natin na ina-access lang yung mga electrical panels ni maintenance. Ayan. Chemical safety. Okay, let's proceed to chemical safety. So what do you know about chemical safety? First, we need to make sure containers are properly labeled. So nakikita nyo dun sa mga picture sa baba, ayan, iba't ibang klase ng chemical safety signages. Ayan. Inspect containers for signs of damages. Ayan. Wear required PPE. Ano-ano ba yung mga required na PPE? Lalo na kung gagamit tayo ng mga chemical, hahawak tayo ng mga chemical. So, yun. Ensure natin na kung kailangan bang naka-gloves, naka-spectacles or goggles. Ayan. So, gagamit talaga tayo ng mga ganun. Follow safe storage and handling procedures. Of course, lahat naman siguro ng mga ginagawa natin, may kanya-kanyang work. Ayan, standard procedures na dapat i-follow natin. Hindi yung basta sasabak tayo sa gera na hindi natin alam kung ano ba yung work trabaho natin, ano ba yung gagawin natin, paano ba to. So, dapat, bago tayo magsimula, na-orient tayo, alam natin yung mga pasikot-sikot doon or step-by-step practice ng trabaho natin. Also, clean up spills. Halimbawa, yung mga natapon. So, dapat ensure natin na yung mga nasa spill kit, yun din yung gagamitin natin para ma-ensure natin na malinis yung mga spills or ma-dispose siya properly. Okay? So, yung mga signs nga pala na makikita nyo, eto, kagaya ng, ayan, explosives, signages, environmental hazard signages, about, ayan, yung may bungo, about chemical safety or mga poisonous chemicals. Ayan, ito, corrosion. Ayan, corrosion, yung may mga kamay na to. Then, about fire safety, carcinogen, and others, safety-related signages. Okay? Next natin, for machine safety. Okay, so, ayan, makikita naman natin, caution, rotating machinery. So, ayan. Keep the area around the machines clear. So, saan lang ba tayo may mga machines dito? Kagaya ng nasa bundling. Ayan, may mga machines tayo dyan na ginagamit. Bukod pa doon, yung mga ano natin, kasama rin yan, yung mga material handling equipment or MEC, syempre mga machine din yan, di ba? Ayan. Inspect machine before use. So, kaya nga, bago tayo sumampa ng unit, anong ginagawa natin? So, pre-operating checklist tayo bago tayo para sa ganon, may checklist ka, alam mo kung ano yung mga, okay ba to? Okay ba yung gulong nito? Okay ba yung mga brakes nito? Ayan. Okay ba yung blue light nito? At kung ano-ano pang mga safety features na makikita natin sa ating mga machines. So, syempre, kung merong sira or damages yung isang machine, huwag natin siyang gagamitin. Okay? Make sure all guards are operating. Follow the lockout tag-out procedures and clean all machines and put away tools. Electrical safety. Okay, so what is electrical safety? So una, keep heaters and furnaces clear. Inspect electrical cords before use. Ayan. Don't overload outlets or circuits. Parang katulad lang sa bahay, di ba ini-ensure natin na dapat yung mga outlets natin tama lang yung mga saksak, kahit na may mga saksakan pa yan or kuwari apatan, limahan, ini-ensure natin na sakto lang yung nakalagay, wag naman yung super overload na yung ano, okay, yung mga outlets natin na pwedeng pagmulan ng mga sunog. Keep combustible away from electrical equipment. Ano ba yung mga combustible materials na yan? like papers, plastics, at kung ano-ano pa. Ayan, wood. Ayan. Keep electrical equipment clean. So yan, kaya nga meron tayong electrician na nagche-check or na umiikot. Routinary na nila na iikot, mag-inspect para dun sa mga equipment natin kung gumagana pa ba siya, operating ba siya, baka naman may sira, baka kailangan linisin. So meron din yang mga preventive maintenance din para sa mga equipment natin. Next, prevent cuts, bumps, and scrapes. Don't leave objects sticking out, pad head hazards, clean up broken glass immediately, properly store blades and sharp tools, properly discard old blades, and keep utility knives sheathered or retracted. Ayan. So, yan lang yung mga kailangan nating i-prevent para daw maiwasan natin magkaroon ng cuts, bumps, or scrapes. Ano ba yung mga kasi ng, ano ba yung Tagalog sa scrapes or pag sinabing scrapes, ano yun? Yun yung parang gasgas or parang nagasgas. Yung cut, syempre, cut or parang nahiwa, parang ganon. Yung bump, yung parang pag nauntog tayo, so ganyan. Yan yung mga klase niyan ha. So para daw hindi tayo magkaroon ng mga kahit anong ganyan, ensure natin na, ayan, itong mga sinabi ko is ma-ensure natin na nagagawa natin. Next, PPE housekeeping. O kahit pala PPE, dapat may proper housekeeping din siya. Una, we have to inspect PPE before natin gamitin. Baka naman ang tagal-tagal na, ang dumi-dumi or mabaho. Yan, may mga amoy. So, ensure natin na in good condition siya palagi. Number 1, in good condition. Pangalawa, clean PPE regularly. Siyempre, yung mga PPE natin, may tamang schedule yan kung kailan siya dapat nalilinis. Hindi yung parang simula nung binili siya, ayan na siya. So, dapat, halimbawa, may na-observe kayo o may nakita kayo, i-report nyo agad para ano rin natin siya, ma-schedule din ng cleaning or yan, dapat talaga meron siya talagang proper schedule. Next, store PPE properly. So, yun, tamang housekeeping, para maalagaan natin yung mga PPE natin, pagkatapos natin gamitin, ibabalik din natin kung saan natin nakalagay o kung saan natin kinuha. Usually naman meron yung mga storage boxes. Okay? And next, replace PPE when necessary. So, pag yung mga PPE natin is burned out na, talagang parang hindi na kaaya-ayang tingnan. Yun nga, sabi ko nga kanina, medyo may kakaibang amoy na, mabaho na, or medyo dugyot na. So, kailangan napapapalitan na natin yan or ire-report na natin yan sa admin para mapalitan natin or di kaya i-request natin sa procurement. Next natin, use the right equipments for housekeeping tasks. Kagaya ng personal protective equipment, number 1 dyan. Pag halimbawa maglilinis tayo, ano ba yung kailangan natin? Kailangan ba natin safety shoes, safety vest, hard hat, or even gloves? Ayan. Next, broom, vacuum, mop, and sponge. Ayan. So, hindi lang basta gagamitin natin kamay natin or kung may nakita lang tayong mga tissue, papel, yun na ipapang-an natin. May proper equipment na gagamitin. Yan, kagaya nga ng mga nabanggit ko. Next, cleaning rags. Ayan. So, may mga basahan talaga na ginagamit and mga cleaning compounds. Ayan. So, hindi naman pwede na basahan lang or tubig lang. Kailangan may mga gamit din tayong sabon or chemical na makakapaglinis palalo ng mga ano natin. Okay, let's proceed on lift and carry safely. Lift and carry safely. Check your route of travel. Alamin nyo muna saan ba dapat tayo papunta. Get a good grip. Tamang paghawak or stable yung pagkapit natin. Lift with your legs. So, yan. So, hindi gagamitin natin yung likod ha. Dapat yung legs natin pa ganun. Lift with your legs, not your back. Ayan, sabi ko nga kanina. And make sure you can see over the object are carrying. And watch where you are going. So, dapat, pag ganun siya, ibibend yung legs nyo pababa, paakyat. Hindi yung ganon. Pag ganon pa, parang makukuba tayo. So, dapat hindi mabibend tong back part ng body natin. Next, key points to remember. Good housekeeping helps to prevent workplace fires and accidents. Keeping the workplace neat and safe is everyone's responsibility. Of course, safety is non-negotiable. And then we considered safety first. Safety at all times, sabi nga natin. Ayan. Keep alert to housekeeping hazards. Ayan. Pag may nakitang kahit anong hazard, i-report agad natin para maiwasan yung mga ganyang near misses bago pa ito mag-lead sa any accidents. Ayan. Prevent near misses before it's too late, okay? And then, eliminate or report hazards you identify anywhere in the facility. So, yan. Report muna. Report natin sa mga safety natin. Kasi, meron kaming monitoring yan, kinoconsolidate natin yan para maiwasan. Then, anong gagawin natin? Bibigyan natin ng tamang control. Anong gagawin? Kung may sira, i-repair natin. Ayan, ganyan. Next, electrical safety. So, our objectives for electrical safety, first, to learn and understand the basic principles of electricity, to know the danger of electric shock, and to learn practical measures to prevent electrical shocks. Ano ba yung mga common sources or common DC sources ng mga electricity? Meron tayong tinatawag na secondary cell. So, yan. Ito yung mga rechargeable. Ayan. As you can see on the picture, meron tayong primary cell. Ito naman, kaibahan nun, yung isa rechargeable, ito not rechargeable. Meron tayong photovoltaic cells. Ayan, para kagaya ng mga solar panel. Or ayan, naman sa solar, ano natin. DC generator. Meron tayong rectifier or device that converts AC to DC, and yung mga generator, kagaya ng yung dynamo, ayan. So, marami pang klase ng sources ng electricity. Ano ba yung mga type ng electrical injuries? So, meron tayong tinatawag na electrocution. Ito yung sobra or labis-labis yung makukuha natin na electricity dun sa mismong sa sources or dun sa mismong ano, nabanggit ko nga kanina dun sa mga sources. Yan. So, it may lead daw sa fatality or pwede itong makamatay. Next, electric shock. Ito, hindi naman agad-agad makakamatay, pero shock like, ayan, kagaya ng mga medyo may konting impact. Yung medyo pain, magkakaroon din tayo ng konting ng pain, pero hindi naman totally nakakamatay. So, may konting masakit pa rin, ganyan. Then, kagaya, next, burns. O, alam naman natin yung mga klase ng mga burns. Such as, pwede na rin sunburn, ganyan. At iba-iba pang burn. Or, in Tagalog, yung mga parang napapaso or nasusunog. Yun yung nangyayari. Okay? Then, next, falls. Ayan. So, yung mga paghulo, kumbaga parang ground or shock na pwedeng tayong mahulog or mag-fall. These injuries can happen in various ways. Direct contact with exposed energized conductors or circuit parts. Ayan. So, ito yung mga, to explain further, electrocution. What is electrocution? Electrocution, it is a result when a human is exposed or to a little amount of electrical energy. Pag sobra-sobra yung paghawak niya tas na kuryente siya, ayun, pag sobra-sobra yung nakuha niyang source nun, pwedeng makamatay. So, very dangerous to. It may lead to fatality or death. So, ito yung mga sample ng mga burns. It is the most common shock-related injuries. Ayan, burns from electricity like electrical, arc flash, and thermal contact. So, ano-ano ba yung mga yan? Kagaya niyan, fire. Most electrical fires result from problems with faulty electrical outlets. Sabi ko nga kanina, kahit mahaba siya, pag overload na yung nakalagay dyan, lalo na kung may mga tagpi-tagpi na, so, ina-ensure natin na dapat tama yung mga wiring niyan, yung mga outlets, mga plugs and cords. Ayan. Ano yung tinatawag na arc flash or blast? So, an arc flash, it is a sudden release of electrical energy through the air when a higher voltage gap exists and there is a breakdown between conductors. So, kagaya na nakikita niyo sa pictures, ayan. So yan o, biglang nag-blast na parang sumabog or parang pumutok. Ayan. Then, shock. Ano ba yung shock? Result when the body become part of electrical circuits. Electrical shock is defined as a reflex response to passage of electric current through the body. Ayan, kagaya ng mga sample, yung mga nakukuryente, nagkakaroon ng biglang parang shock or parang ground. The next, we have also control measures. O ano-ano ba yung mga administrative control? Adapting standard operating procedures. Ayan. So, pwedeng ang itatama natin sa proseso or sa procedures, pwedeng may mali sa proseso. Ayan. Or sa mga work standards or work instructions. Next, safe work practices. Ligtas ba or tama ba yung proseso na sinusundan or step-by-step process sa trabaho? Next, providing appropriate training. Ito, very common 'to sa mga administrative controls. Baka naman hindi naman na-train yung tao. So, lacking of training. So, kung hindi na-train, ano gagawin? Dapat ipa-train natin siya. Next, potential adverse health effects to persons. Ayan. And also, isolation and permits to work procedures are examples of administrative control. Baka naman, bago nagtrabaho, hindi siya kumuha ng mga work permits, ayan, or permit to work, or PTW kung tawagin. Kasi kami bilang safety officer, kami yung tutulong para ma-identify ano-ano yung mga controls, ano-ano yung mga proper PPE na dapat gawin, dapat suotin bago ito i-execute yung particular task. So, dapat yan nako-consider din natin yan. Isa pa, form of coaching, pwedeng behavioral na rin. Yung isa yan sa mga administrative control na pwede. Okay? Next, eto isa pa sa mga administrative control or control measures natin like PPE or personal protective equipment. Use only when engineering control is not feasible. So, pag wala daw mga engineering control na makikita natin sa loob or sa process na ginagawa natin, ensure natin na eliminate natin yung hazards. Ayan, dapat meron tayong kahit papaanong at least PPE like safety shoes, safety vest, hard hat, gloves, spectacles, or goggles. And on the process of developing engineering control. Safe practices do not provide additional protection during emergency. So ano pang maitutulong nito? Hindi ibig sabihin meron tayong PPE or meron tayong safety shoes or safety vest ay ligtas na tayo. So pwedeng mabawasan lang niya or malesen lang niya yung for example, nagulungan tayo, yung paa natin nagulungan. So pwedeng nadurog yung buto natin pero dahil may safety shoes tayo or may bakal yung shoes natin, pwedeng na-prevent niya. Okay? Pero hindi ibig sabihin safe na tayo. For example, like safety vest. So, hindi porke may safety vest tayo, ay safe na tayo, hindi na tayo maaksidente. So, visibility vest lang yun, para maging visible tayo, mas makita natin, para ma-prevent. Papunta pa lang, maaaksidente pa lang tayo or pwedeng pa lang tayo, nagiging visible na tayo or makikita na tayo. So, mape-prevent na niya or makakapagdagdag na siya para maiwasan natin yung mga ganitong klase ng accidents. Okay? So, always wear your PPE. Ayan. Next, to provide employees with safe work practices and procedures for prevent an electrical accident or injury, scope natin, electrical safety work practices. It is necessary for employees who work on a near-exposed energized parts or for those who must understand the safety practices on the job. Yan. So, ensure natin na yung magtatrabaho lang ng mga ganito is yung mga may training, ayan. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng mga training para sa TESDA, tapos ensure natin na trabaho talaga niya yan. Ano ba siya, electrician ba siya? So, yan, hindi tayo basta-basta, pwede ka ikaw yung niyan. So, dapat may training talaga siya or may experience siya dun sa job na gagawin niya. Ayan, sa focus on training for those who are directly electricity type, ano ba yung mga sources, ano ba yung lockout, tagout, control, mga basic information or instructions. Yan. So, ano ba yung flow of current through the body? Ayan. Flow of current through the body depends upon, so nakadepende daw to saan? Sa voltage ng circuit, insulating quality of place, resistance of the skin, and contact. So, gaano kadami yung contact natin pagdating dun sa ano, gaano kadami yung electricity or voltage na makukuha natin dun. So, dun naka-base kung anong mangyayari sa atin. Kung ano yung magiging impact. Kung magkakaroon ba tayo ng burns, electrocution, at kung ano-ano pa. Shock, ground. So, yun. So, nakadepende Una, ano-ano ba yung mga gagawin natin? Or ano yung mga dapat tingnan natin para maiwasan to or ma-avoid yung mga ganong klaseng injury or accidents. Una, block or i-block daw natin yung mga electrical panel. Yan, dapat nakalock yan. Kaya nga may tinatawag lock out, tag out. Ensure natin na nakalock siya, nakapadlock. At ang tanging electrician lamang or mga maintenance team na trained ang pwedeng magbukas niyan or just in case may gagawin lang sila. Strain on conductors. And ensure natin na walang ganyan, mga nakalaylay na conductors, damage faceplate. So, yung sinasabing faceplate dyan, yung pang-cover niya. Ayan, dapat ensure natin na hindi siya open. Pag may mga nakita kayong ganyan na open, ensure nyo, ma-report natin agad yan. Lalo pag nakita natin sa loob ng warehouse or sa workplace natin. Ayan, yung mga exposed live parts. So, dapat walang ganyan. Next, yung mga ungrounded cords. Tapos may mga nawawala pang mga pin, ayan, on extension cord. So, ensure natin walang mga missing breakers inside the circuit or breaker panel. Ayan. So, ito lang yung mga sample nung mga inadequate strain relief on cord. Ayan. Ito pa yung ibang sample. Utility boxes are not approved for usage ng extension cords. Receptacles in wet or damp locations. Sabi ko nga kanina, kailangan yung mga faceplate natin, kailangan may cover. Ayan. Lalo na kung nababasa yung mga areas. Ayan. Use grounded or double insulated tools. Check continuity of tool. Ayan. Receptacles in wet locations. Ito yung sample. Kailangan ng may harang. Receptacles in wet or damp location need covers. Ayan. Ano ba yung lockout, tag-out? So, ano ba yung LOTO? Ayan. LOTO or lockout, tag-out system. A control that ensures the daily applications of safety procedures, operational process that will provide maximum protections against unexpected movement of facility. Ayan, madami tayong klase ng hazardous energy conditions such as electrical, chemical, mechanical, pressurized systems, thermal, and potential or stored energy for batteries and others. Okay, lockout. It is a physically restrained or all hazardous energy sources that supply power to a piece of equipment. Yan. And lockout device naman, a device that utilizes a positive means such as lock, either key or combination type. Ayan. Ayan, ito yung sample ng mga lockout, tag-out, or padlock. Tag-out is a warning tag applied on a physical restraint device. So, mamaya may papakita ako sa inyong sample ng tag-out. Energy isolating the device. In accordance with the established procedures, indicates that the energy isolating device and equipments being controlled cannot be operated until the tag-out device is removed. So, yun nga, hanggat hindi pa nare-remove yung pinaka-tag niya, hindi natin siya pwedeng tanggalin, okay? Ito yung sample no, do not operate or danger. Ayan, pagka may tag pa siya, wag muna natin i-operate. Ensure natin na lagi naka-lock. Lock out. Ayan, out of service. Next, let's proceed to machine safety. When identifying the hazards related to machines, we shall consider the following types of machine. Ano-ano ba yung mga types ng machine na yan? Layout ng mga machine, driven method, electricity, air, etc. what are the operating parameters? Ano ba yung tamang speed niyan? Kagaya ng mga MEG natin. 'Di ba? Yung mga MEG natin, ang tamang speed lang niyan is 5 kph for shared areas and up to 10 kph kung halimbawa maluwag naman or wala namang kayo lang yung gumagalaw dun sa area. Materials to be processed or handled and method of feed. Okay? Mechanical, crushing, shearing, or cutting, or severing, stabbing, or puncture. High pressure fluid injection, electrical shock, noise and vibrations, contact with extreme of temperature, ergonomics, and others. So, ito lang yung mga typical hazards na makukuha daw natin sa mga machineries or machines. Ayan, kagaya nitong nasa picture na to, as you can see, ayan o, loose clothing. So, pag halimbawa maluluwag yung mga damit natin, lalo't may mga ganyan na pwede siyang makuha or pwede siyang mahigop nung mga machines. So, delikado, very unsafe siya. Ibig sabihin nun, unguarded rotating parts of the machine. So, ini-ensure natin dapat lahat ng mga rotating parts na machine may cover. Ayan. Ganun din kagaya nun sa mga bundling, yan dapat may cover siya. Machine safety, unguarded rotating parts. Ayan. Eto pa, dapat may cover. So, may makikita tayong ganyan sa bundling, may ganyan. Pero may cover siya, may parang, it's either net or parang steel cover. Yan. Ito yung mga types ng machine. Cutting tool, ayan. What are the risk assessment for machine operation? So, steps for risk assessments. Ay. So, we have 5 steps. First, step 1, identify the hazards. Step 2, identify the existing control. So, kung may hazard, may existing control na nilalagay tayo dyan. Next, assess the risk level based on matrix. So, ano ba yung risk level niyan? Is it low risk, medium risk, high risk? And step 4, identify the need or additional control measure. Kung nakita mo na medyo medium risk to, kasi direct walang covered yung pinaka-machine or walang machine guarding. So, anong pwede natin gawin? Pwede tayong gumawa ng additional control like engineering control, nalagyan natin siya ng cover. Assign the responsible person. Una, dapat train. Alam nung mga naka-area. Okay? Para maiwasan nilang maaksidente. Ito yung sample nung step 1, identify the hazard. So, yan. Forklift operations, moving forklift collide with other vehicles, pedestrians. So, ano yung possible injury? So, it may lead to fatality to forklift operator or co-workers. Pwede nating ma-hit or pwede tayong maka-aksidente ng mga co-workers. So, dito nakita nyo, meron tayong ginawang additional control such as barricades or yung mga signs and warning device. Ayan. Next natin, existing control. Ayan. So, ito, such as, for example, forklift pa rin ha, display speed limit sign. So, sabi ko nga kanina, sa mga speed limit or material handling equipment, 5 pag shared areas or gumagalaw, mas mabagal lang. Then, up to maximum 10 kph, lalo kung ikaw lang naman yung gumagalaw dun sa area. Meron tayong demarcation to forklift travel pathway. Meron tayong mga, ang tawag dito, yung mga traffic routes na dadaanan ng mga MHs natin. So, meron tayong existing controls para dun sa risk. Okay? Any safeguards in place? Any written procedures control to mitigate the risk? Siyempre, dapat lahat ng ginagawa natin may kaukulang procedures or control. At isa pa, for us to eliminate machine-related accidents or injuries, we need to ensure tama yung mga PPE na gagamitin natin. Okay? Ayan. So, makikita natin yan dito. Pag na-assess natin or dun sa risk matrix natin, sabi ko nga yung risk level. Kung low, medium risk, higher risk. Ayan. Makikita natin yan dyan. Then next natin yung PPE or personal protective equipment. Kagaya ng head protection, Ayan, head protection, overhead hazards, eye protection, mga spectacles, goggles, ayan. Hearing protection, mga earplugs, ayan, para dun sa mga noisy environments, ayan. Respiratory protection, exposure levels exceed permissible exposure limits. Ayan, kagaya ng mga respiratory mask, usually ginagamit natin to sa mga battery charging areas. And foot protection, falling, rolling, or sharp objects, kagaya ng mga safety shoes. Ayan, yung mga ganyan. Ayan yung mga sample ng personal protective equipment na makikita natin sa loob or ginagamit natin dito sa workplace. Next, guarding requirements. Any live parts or electrical equipment operating at 50 volts or more must be guarded to avoid accidental contact. Ayan. So, pag may mga na-observe kayo or nakita kayo na maulang mga machine guarding, i-report nyo agad yan ha. Para maiwasan natin ang kahit anong aksidente. Okay, guarding requirements. So, yan. Signs, entrance to areas with live electrical parts must be marked with warning signs. Signs should be forbid entrance except by qualified persons. So, yan. Kagaya na makikita nyo sa pictures, ayan o, nakalagay. Danger, high voltage, authorized personnel and only. Yan. Usually, pag mga ganyan, dapat electrician lang yung talagang nandyan or yung mga authorized. Employers must provide electrical protective equipment to employees who work near electrical hazard. So, yan, sabi ko nga kanina, may kanya-kanyang personal protective equipment na ginagamit natin, like yung mga goggles, shoes, at kung ano-ano pa. Use appropriate equipment for the hazards. Ayan. Mechanical accidents, ano-ano ba yung makukuha natin? Ayan, kagaya ng mga ganyan. Sabi ko kanina, may mga cut. Ayan, 'di ba? Medyo kakaiba or medyo yung iba hindi natin maanong tingnan. Pero yan yung pwede natin, pwede tayong maiipit. Ayan. And then let's proceed to fire safety. Ayan. So, fire safety, ayan, kagaya na nakikita nyo, what is fire safety? So, through this fire safety training, we can have or we can discuss an education orientation when it comes to fire, establishments of fire brigade organizations, exercise training or fire drill, hands-on fire extinguishers. Ayan. So, meron tayo yan sa loob ng warehouse. Okay? Yun. So, marami tayong klase ng fire. So, meron tayong class A, B, C, D. Ano-ano ba yun? So, class A occur in ordinary combustible materials such as wood, paper, rags, and rubbish. Pag class B naman, ito yung mga occur in vapor mixtures over the surface of flammable liquids such as gasoline, oil, thinners. So, yun naman yung mga sample ng class B. Class C, occur in near energized electrical equipment where non-conducting extinguished agents must be used. Ayan. And class D, occur in combustible metals such as magnesium, potassium, powered aluminum, and zinc. Yan. Ano ba yung triangle of fire? Or paano ba nagsisimula or paano ba nagkakaroon ng fire? Yan. Okay? So, ito yung triangle of fire. So, meron tatlo. Una dyan is fuel, heat, and oxygen. So, yan tatlong yan. Pagka lahat nagsama-sama yung tatlong yan, ito yung pwedeng pagmula ng fire. Okay? So, ano nga ba yung tinatawag nating tetrahedron? So, yan. Yung tetrahedron, ito yung composed of fuel, heat, oxygen, or chemical chain reaction. Na pag nagkaroon ng tetrahedron na yan, ito yung magkakaroon ng tinatawag na fire or mabubuo yung fire. So, once na mawala ang isa dyan, syempre, hindi magkakaroon ng fire. Ano ba yung tinatawag natin or how do we control fire? Or how we can prevent fire? Ayan. So, meron tayong tinatawag na portable fire extinguishers. Ayan. It is an appliance designated to be carried and operated by hand containing fire medium, which can be expelled by the action of internal pressures and be directed on the fire. So, yan. So, ito yung parts ng fire extinguisher. So, mayroon tayong lock pin, ayan. Anti-tamper seal, yung kulay yellow na nakakikita nyo nakabaon na ganyan. Pressure gauge, ayan, para makita nyo kung ano yung tamang pressure, yung handle niya. Ayan. Yung squeeze, ito, yung makikita nyo yung pag ganon. Then, yung nozzle or yung pahaba na ginagano natin. Okay? Inspection tag. So, dapat na-inspect din yan para nalalaman natin kung kailan ba expiration. So, na-expire din yan na nire-refill din natin. May mga ganun din. Position and legibility of faceplate. Ayan. So, dapat daw start natin at least 10 feet aim to based on the fire. 10 feet, at least 10 feet. So, ano ba yung general operating style? Paano ba mag-operate or paano ba natin gagamitin yung fire extinguishers? So, eto, yung tinatawag natin. Una, tinitwist natin yung pin or twist the pin. Pero sa ngayon, kahit hindi na yun kasi usually kasi nung iba, tinitwist pa. So, ngayon, kahit pass na lang. May tinatawag tayong T-pass or pass na lang ngayon. Pull the pin. Ayan, kukunin natin yung pin. Pull the pin. Aim the nozzle. Itataas natin yung pinaka-nozzle niya. Aim the nozzle. Squeeze the lever. Yung pinaka-ganong handle. I-squeeze natin yun. And then, sweep from side to side. Sabi ko nga 10 feet dun sa base of the fire.
How
At
to
least
use a
10
fire
feet.
extinguisher.
Okay, so
In this short video,
so
we'll cover how to
listen to this
properly use a
video.
fire extinguisher using the PASS method. Now, it's important to note that if a fire does occur in your workplace, that you follow these 3 important steps. Step 1. Once you've seen the fire, first grab the closest fire extinguisher, ensuring it's the correct type and class appropriate to extinguish the fire, and always make sure to keep your back to an unobstructed exit. If you do not think that you can put out the fire safely, make sure to evacuate the building. Step 2. Once you have your fire extinguisher, stand 6 to 8 feet away from the fire. Step 3. Follow the PASS 4-step procedure. First is P for pull. Pulling the pin unlocks the operating lever and allows you to discharge the extinguisher. Next is A for aim. Make sure to aim the extinguisher nozzle or hose at the base of the fire. The first S is squeeze. Squeeze the lever. This discharges the extinguishing agent. Releasing the lever will stop the discharge. The second S is for sweep. While discharging the extinguisher, start moving towards the fire. Keep the extinguisher aimed at the base of the fire and sweep back and forth until the flames appear to be out. Once the fire has been extinguished, make sure to watch the fire area. If the fire reignites, repeat the process. Always remember that smoke generated from the fire can be harmful and even fatal. Never attempt to extinguish a fire unless it is safe to do so. Now to recap the PASS 4-step procedure. P is for pull the pin. A is for aim the nozzle. The first S is for squeeze the lever. And the second S is for sweep.
Okay, so
At
ano nga
Cranford for
ulit?
Occupational Health and Safety, we bring safety to life.
Okay, so ano nga ulit yon? What are the, or how to use the fire extinguisher? So we have pass. First, pull the pin. A, aim the nozzle. S, squeeze the lever. And last S, sweep from side to side. So yan lang palagi yung tatandaan. Okay, just in case may sunog or may fire. So that's all. Thank you and have a safe stay here at South Luzon Distribution Center. Thank you.